All right, so here we go. We're gonna get started now. So, welcome
Okay.
everybody that's watching. This is Allison Stripling, and my name is Oscar Gonzalez, and we're both consultants in social media and marketing. And we're gonna be talking about a bunch of stuff that's very interesting, very hot right now: Facebook, YouTube, and we're gonna talk a little bit about social proof and Edgerank. What is all that stuff? So, Allison, why don't you tell us a little bit about what Cornerstone Creative does?
Okay. Well, I actually help people be profitable with social media. And so by leveraging, of course, social media and online presence and online events and email marketing.
All right. And Oscar Steg, that's my company. We do IT and web and social media support. So we can help you with your projects on websites, classic IT infrastructure, and virtual infrastructure, and also help you manage the tools that you need to run a successful social media campaign. Um, and
He's pretty geeky.
yes, I'm the geek of the two of us. Allison is more creative. But she's very, very smart, business savvy, and I've been wanting to talk to her and go over some of these topics that keep coming up in social media circles. We both belong to several groups that meet regularly to talk about social media tools, strategies, content, and just general digital marketing. So, in our agenda today, we're going to talk a little bit about Facebook terms of service. We want to start with the basics, and a lot of people jump into Facebook not really understanding the rules, and so we wanted to cover some of that. Um, Terms of services on Facebook are very, very difficult to understand, and by no means are we claiming to have any kind of legal background to tell you or advise you on this, but we found a few things that are interesting, and we recommend that you read the Facebook Terms of Service, and especially if you have a Facebook fan page, or if you're going to build an app, every section of Facebook has their own extra terms of service. So you might agree to Facebook terms of service when you sign in, but if you create a fan page, then there's a whole new set of rules that you have to abide by. And if you create a Facebook app, there's even more rules that come into play. So, Allison, our first topic, I guess, is we were wondering about auto-playing media on your Facebook fan page. A lot of people want to put a video that when you go to your Facebook fan page, it gets played automatically. And we've always been under the impression that that is against terms of service. But Allison and I were looking, and it appears that that's kind of a bogus area. So, what's the example that we were talking about, Allison? That the one, one fan page that
Right.
does it, and they
Well,
do it really well. But
I like to check out internet marketers and how they do it because I think there's a certain draw that internet marketers have. And so I've been looking into different projects that people have going on in different products. And I came across get10,000fans.com. And he's been around a while. But what I really liked is that when I clicked in, his video automatically played. And so, it captures the audience and if you want to turn it off, you can just by clicking on the video, or you can turn your your volume down and not listen to them. But it was great. So I was trying to do that as well for a client, just upload a video and do that same technique. Um, and then I got a message that said, well, you can't have, based on Facebook's terms of service, you can't have a video that audio plays. So, so I was
now,
just checking it out.
now, where did you get that message? Was it just a friend telling you you're not supposed to do that, or was it Facebook telling you, or how did you?
It was that app that we talked about before. What was that one? Do you remember?
No, I don't.
Uh,
The page moto, maybe? No.
it's the one that you have for
Oh,
your
the
Facebook
the
page.
static tabs.
Is that what it's called? Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't remember.
static iframe tabs or something. Sure.
I'd have to find it. Yeah.
So, and I was under the same impression because a lot of my clients have asked me to do that, and I actually wanted to do it on my own Facebook page, but
Mhm.
I didn't do it because I was under the same impression. But then here comes this 10,000 fan page that you showed me, and he's doing it. And,
Right.
from a consumer point of view, as just a normal person surfing the internet, I hate when videos or music autoplay.
Right.
But in certain situations, it actually might be very useful. Like, for example, if you go to a fan page like this, there's nothing else to do on the page except what's being presented to you. And the logical thing to do is for that video to just play because you're likely to go and click on the
Watch
play
it.
button. Right. So why not start playing automatically?
Right.
And what Allison and I did was just we started looking through the terms of service and found out that maybe the autoplay clause is only applicable to apps, and I think that's where the difference comes into play. That a Facebook fan page is not really an app, and it's just a page that you're creating for your fan pages and for your fans. And I think if you create a video that you can autoplay, you're okay. Obviously, this 10,000 fan page has well over 100,000 fans in it, so they're not a small player, and Facebook has not shut them down. So I think that the key is that you want to make the video attractive, and obviously you don't want to put it on an app. For example, an app that automatically posts an update to your Facebook wall is not allowed to automatically play the video when somebody loads your wall. That's where it would become a problem, because imagine if you have 5 of those and you have 5 updates on your wall, then all of them would be playing at once and it would just be a disaster. So I think that's where the difference is. If you create an app, which most people are not doing, is pretty difficult, then I think you're safe if you put it on your Reveal Facebook tab. I'm going to show you real quick how that looks on Facebook over here. Is get 10,000 fans, right?
Right.
10,000. Let's get, yeah, get 10,000 fans. There it is. So if you guys go to get 10,000 fans, and you go to their Reveal tab, you'll notice that this video starts playing.
Hey, this is Brian from Get 10,000 Fans, and what I want to...
I would let you go and watch it on your own, but this video right here that I'm pointing to automatically starts playing and tells you what the Facebook fan page is about, what this guy's promoting, and right underneath you see the entry for our next topic, which is subscribes versus likes. Actually, we're jumping ship here, but that's okay. Allison and I had a great discussion about Facebook likes. When somebody likes on a page, they become your fan, and the difference between that and having somebody on your mailing list. So, Allison, why don't you tell me a little bit about what you think is the approach that a business would take or should take to having a Facebook landing page? As far as, do they encourage likes, or do you have to build a list, or what do you think is more valuable and why?
Right. Well, we had this discussion because I think, like, all these companies say, okay, well, you have to have, your like on Facebook, and that's how you're supposed to market to, the 800 million people on Facebook. And I think that's secondary actually to an opt-in for an email address, because I think there's so many more ways to market to your audience in email marketing than just Facebook. And I think I had read that 96% of the people who come to your Facebook wall never come back. And so either you have to capture their attention by increasing your edge rank on your Facebook in the not the timeline, but in Facebook on the news feed, or you just figure out, how to engage people better on Facebook. But the point being is that I think it's always better to get the email opt-in rather than the like. So the like is secondary.
Okay, so I happen to be on the fence about this because I think that if you're on Facebook, you want people to come and interact on Facebook, and to ask them for their email address is kind of going beyond the scope of Facebook. But Allison has a great point that Facebook is limited to that scope of social interaction in Facebook, and as a marketer and as a business owner, you're missing out on the opportunity to send these people a message outside of your Facebook wall page, outside of your stream. And she mentioned something that we'll cover a little bit later, but she mentioned Edgerank. And Edgerank is what will allow your update on your Facebook fan page to show up on people's personal wall. If you have a low Edgerank, it might not show up because Facebook is selecting the most relevant information for the user. So if your Facebook fan page has a low Edgerank, then it's likely that it won't show up on anyone's wall. So even if you have 100 people liking your page, 1,000 people, they might not be seeing that because you're competing against other pages that have more activity and have maybe more interaction. So if you have a Facebook fan page, it's good, I guess, to capture the name and email address of somebody. And Allison's even suggesting that it's good to make that be the primary focus of that page over getting that like. And I have to kind of agree with that. So for example, here we're looking at Zappo's Facebook fan page. They're not collecting your email address, but they have a really, really good landing page, and they're a bit of an established brand. So they're not like your normal small mom and pop shop. But what you want to do is maybe like the 10,000 fans page that actually, if you look right here where I'm showing you, you can actually sign up, put in your email address, and you get instant access. Now, whatever that means is up to your own business approach and what you're offering. But I guess it's really, really important to capture that name and email address at every chance you get. And Facebook is just another one of those locations where you can talk about that, where you can actually get that information. And maybe you encourage your landing page to be that lead form generation where people sign in with their name, and then even if they don't like the page, maybe they get distracted by signing up and clicking to get on your list. Then you can
market to them later.
Right, you can market to them later, and maybe promote a Facebook only promotion where then they're really encouraged to like your page because you have something unique to offer. I think that's really the part that people miss out on.
And I was trying to come up with, like, a lot of different questions you ask on social media. You could always say, oh, it depends. It depends on the business. It depends on, the goals of the business and such. But then I was trying to think of an actual business that wouldn't want to do email marketing. And I couldn't really think of a business. Now, maybe a movie that has, that their time frame for launch is short, and it doesn't, I don't know, I mean, after the movie launches, they don't tend to the page anymore. But I was just trying to think of a business that wouldn't use email marketing, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's hard to find. Maybe a business that their complete client base is offline. I don't know. It's really hard to find, at least from my perspective, as somebody that wouldn't want to use email. A lot of people feel bad about using it because they feel like they're spamming somebody. But really, if you're putting a form somewhere and somebody's filling it out and choosing to receive that email, what I usually tell people is to get over that part of feeling like they're spamming because this person requested that information, right?
Or it's narcissistic, like, my picture is in the email. Well, yeah,
it is part of what it is, right? And it's all about marketing your product, and these people ask to be on that list. So use it, and I guess promote it as much as you can. And as we're looking on the Get 10,000 Fan page, Allison, you can't see it, but I'm just looking at the page. That is the call to action. Play the video and enter your email address. Then you can go to the wall, you can go to the friends activity and see what other tabs they have available, but that is what they want you to do. And if you take that into your own business perspective, provided that you're marketing to the right people to come to your page, you want to get everybody's email address because that is a long-term way of communicating with these people. And despite what people say about email being dead and stuff, it's still very effective. It's it establishes your name. If you send maybe 1 or 2 newsletters a month, people start to recognize you. And I know personally there's a lot of companies that send me stuff that I opted in, and when I need to buy some of certain types of products, I immediately think of those companies. Even though I
Right.
know there might be other ones that are better out there, I'll still do a little bit of research, but a lot of the times those companies will be my go-to companies just because they're always in my inbox, they give me good information, and it's just about repetition, being on their screen all the time. So,
Yep. You're becoming the authority in that particular area,
right.
right?
Um, so how have you had good success on getting people to sign up to those forums in Facebook with your clients?
I'm currently testing that right now, so I'll tell you
Okay,
over the course of these um, sessions together.
sure.
But yeah, but
Okay.
I'm hoping for some good quality leads there. Right now, I'm doing some Facebook advertising, and I think out of 11 clicks, I've gotten 4 likes.
That's not
And
bad.
so,
That's
yeah,
about a
so I
half.
want that to be better.
Yeah, but that's about a
Yeah,
40% response or a little bit less. That's good.
right.
So what are you using to capture people's email addresses? What actual mail service are you using?
Oh, right now it's Aweber.
Aweber. Okay.
Yeah,
And then I've used Mailchimp in the past, and I know you've used Constant Contact. So
right.
for those of you wondering, how do you actually make that form? Any of those three that we mentioned, and there's probably another dozen of them that are really good out there that will allow you to capture that email address. You could even do a form with Google Docs and just create a simple form, capture people's name and email address. But for the most part, just look for an established company that does mail marketing. Constant Contact, Aweber, Mailchimp, iContact. They all kind of do all the heavy lifting where you only have to provide that form either on your Facebook fan page or on your blog or wherever, and then they manage all the rest, and you just have to send emails to those people. So yeah,
Right. So, hey, when we were talking about Facebook in terms of service, so what we were talking about is it's at this point, it's inconclusive on the decision to put a video, an autoplay video on your site, right? Because
well,
um,
we said it
how do
was
we know?
yeah, we said it was inconclusive on who to ask, where to ask, or how do you even test it without getting banned, because I've heard.
I don't want to get banned.
Right, I don't want to get banned at all, but I think what I'm going to be doing is create just test pages where I can play around with it. The problem is that you can only annoy your friends so many times for them to go and like this page that you're
Right,
testing with. And then you're only going to get a few handful of people to like it,
right. You're not
so
going to get 2,000
you're not
people
going to
to
get
like.
Facebook attention to get you banned, even if you were breaking every rule in the book, right? So I think really the only way that we can trust that it's okay to do this is by looking at established businesses that are doing it. Kind of like lawyers doing case law. Just because the law says one way or another doesn't mean that the judge is going to go with it. It's really up to the judge to decide, and then they have to go into past examples to how that's been handled. And for example, the
Sure.
get10000fans.com page has 107,000 people liking it. Uh, Now, just by the numbers alone, that tells me that Facebook knows about this guy. Facebook, I mean, they have to be aware of this type of page, and maybe it's a combination of how extreme your video is, whether it's really annoying. Maybe if you, I don't know, if
But
you're,
what's annoying? That's different for different people.
well, if you're being tricky, like maybe for example, if your video were to start with sound effects that are related to Facebook, when somebody sends you a chat and you hear the little Facebook pop. Imagine if the video started with that, it would really get your attention and you'd be looking at it, right?
Oh, I see.
That would be kind of
That's
tricky.
true. That'd be really tricky.
Yeah. Um, and I think it also depends on whether people are complaining. So if you're doing it well, and if you're doing it, providing a value service to your group,
Right.
it's less likely that people will complain. So, I'm not one to give you advice on this, but I've seen at least a half a dozen pages with, six-figure fan base that use this technique, either a video or a slideshow, and they're still around. I don't think they're concerned about it. So I really think that applies only to Facebook apps, and those are a little bit different than Facebook fan pages. But to answer the question about where do you go for help on this,
Yeah.
it's kind of tricky. I've heard horror stories of people trying to talk to Facebook support and not getting a response for weeks, if ever. Other times I've heard people's pages getting shut down, and it takes a lot of time to get it restored.
Right.
But really, I don't think they have a good way of supporting the smaller users of Facebook.
Right.
I'm
I'll have to
sure,
find somebody who works at Facebook, get to know.
yes, or just get a 250,000 fans, and then I'm sure they'll
Oh,
pay attention to you.
sure. Okay, I'm working on it.
Yeah.
Working on
Okay.
it.
So that's a question maybe for the audience. If anybody knows, how do we get Facebook attention? How do we, if we wanted to be sure about the proper way to do something, where can we go to ask, can we put this video on our page and make it autoplay? I mean, how can we get the definitive answer on that? We know that terms of services are always really beneficial to the business. They're all written in legal terms and hard to decipher. Sometimes they're very vague, as it is this example. So how do we get a conclusive answer that where we can be sure to move forward and help our clients? We don't want to help our client and then they get 1,000 fans and all of a sudden they get shut down and we get in trouble, right? So if anybody knows, please
Absolutely.
email us or tweet us. By the way, Allison can be found at, what's your Twitter handle?
Allison Stripling. So that's how you find me.
Okay, and then I'm not a grouch on Twitter, and we'll give you more information as we go along. So,
That's not true some of the time. He is a grouch.
I guess it can be sometimes. Uh,
So can everybody. We're
yes,
all human.
yes. So let's talk a little bit about Edgerank. Allison mentioned it a little bit earlier, and I didn't know much about Edgerank until I talked to Allison. So the way I understand it, and then I'll let her explain it more. But the way I understand it is a little bit similar to PageRank for Google. It's just a measurement on your activity on Facebook on a fan page. But there's a very interesting repercussion of this number, and why is that important to pay attention to, Allison?
Well, I think it's funny when I click in, I don't like math myself. So it says learn more about EdgeRank when you go to edgerankchecker.com.
Right.
And it shows you that there's specific information that that Facebook likes to check. So hold on, I need to get to it. But anyway, they have this formula, and I love it when they do formulas because I don't understand it at all. But it's affinity times weight times time decay on Facebook.
Sure.
And all that, if you put in your email address and information on EdgeRank Checker, they'll actually check a page of yours and see how you're doing on your EdgeRank. And so, of course, the higher the score, the better. But if you have less than 100 fans on your page, then the data will be skewed slightly because of the weight of people commenting on your page is a lot larger if you have less than 100 fans. And so if you were to go to that site and enter in your data, you could get where you're at with EdgeRank. And at this particular point, my page is at 39, which I've increased it
Wow,
2
that's good.
points.
People
Two,
people
yeah.
right now watching the video can see that my page is at 0. So,
Yeah, it's pretty interesting because it's just a starting point for where if you want to measure your page and how well you're doing on EdgeRank. Um, and it will just allow you to show up on your friends or your fans' news feed more often if your number is higher.
sure.
And
So what's a good number to have?
Well, we were talking about that score breakdown that they have on the site, and 0 to 6 is below average.
Right.
Um, 7 to 13 is average, and 14 to 19 is above average, and plus 20 is excellent.
So ideally, anything over 20 is what you want to kind of stand out from the rest. And then to emphasize, the reason why you want this page rank to go higher is because Facebook automatically decides what news and what events to show on people's walls. And everyone is individually tailored to that person based on who they follow, who they like, and what their likes and interests are about. So the higher your edge rank is, the more likely that Facebook will consider your page worthy of showing on the newsfeed for everyone's um, pages or wall. So then you have more chances of being visible. And that all goes back to liking versus email lists. You know, how do you get on people's radar when you want to promote something? So um, if you increase your page rank, you're likely to show up on people's feed a lot more than if you have a low page rank.
You explain things so good.
Well, I've had a little bit of practice explaining things, but uh, a few other things that I found interesting from PageRank, just when I plugged in my information, was, for example, that it tells me when, um, and I'm looking at it right now, if you look at one single page, there's four really cool statistics that this shows me. It shows me that Sunday was my best edge rank day, so that's when I get most interactions. Um, Also, apparently I get more new fans on Fridays. The least new fans are on Sunday, which is interesting because that's my highest edge rank day, is Sunday, but that's when I get the least new fans. And then my worst overall day is Wednesday. So those are really, really interesting statistics. And if you go with the pro version, I think all the statistics get enhanced with even more detail and more customization options. So Edgerank is certainly something I'm going to be taking a lot closer. But I've been doing a lot of Facebook stuff lately, so I really want to improve that. And Allison is a great resource for that. So I love the formulas though, because sometimes my buddy Dave Cole, you've met him from SMMOC.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
He says, you know, if you ever want to impress corporate or any IT managers, I mean, just throw some buzzwords around, and that's what this formula does. It's really
Yeah.
like, well, it's affinity times weight times decay. Didn't you know that?
I know.
He says he uses a term algorithm. That's his saving word. I just created an algorithm. That's how I came up with it.
And nobody knows what that is.
Yeah.
It's some secret algorithm.
Yes, but it sounds official, right?
It does.
It sounds like, wow, you know what you're doing.
Yeah. I
So,
always love when you put words to mathematical equations because it throws me off entirely.
oh, sure. Well,
And
people
rather than
have,
numbers. They're supposed to be numbers.
right. Well, people have a hard time doing basic math. So once you put it, times this over that divided by the number of likes, then people are just more likely to say, yes, you're right, rather than look like a fool, right?
I'll just sign up for the service. That's all. Just tell me my score.
Yep, just telling my score. That's why I like PageRank. PageRank is a single number. That's it. Now there's a lot of factors that play into that, but it's just one number.
Yeah.
And now we have cloud.
PageRank.
What?
Oh, nothing.
Well,
Page.
yeah. PageRank is Google. EdgeRank is Facebook, but it's not Facebook's thing. EdgeRank is something a third party has created, right? So, um, then what? On our social interactions, we have cloud. We have Empire Avenue, we have Peer Index. There's all these measurement tools, and I don't think anybody really has a good handle on what all those numbers mean, but it certainly can help you establish a baseline and work from there.
So did your clout increase
My
with
cloud
Google
did
Plus?
increase, yes. It did increase, it took a big jump, and then it started diving again.
Yeah.
I mean, it's in a constant downward dive on my end. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But
Me too.
I basically stopped worrying about it, and it didn't actually increase. I'm at 52 now, and I stopped worrying about it, and I started really I took social media back to how it was a long time ago for me, where I'm talking to people, I'm getting to know them, I'm actually reading the updates that they put up, as opposed to just liking them or trying to help them out just to retweet them. I actually read those updates, which I think a lot of marketers don't do, and everybody
Right, I
gets
agree.
yeah, everybody gets caught up on helping each other out for the sake of helping each other out, but that kind of defeats the purpose because then you're resharing stuff that's not valuable to other people, and people follow you for a certain reason on Twitter or Facebook. They want to follow the type of stuff that you're interested about, not your, 2 or 3 degree separation friends. They want to know what you want to say. Now, if you find something interesting from your friends and it's worth you sharing, then by all means do it. But I think a lot of people are just kind of creating noise. But yeah, if I look at my clout right now, I'm at 52 and apparently going up,
Wow.
which is very,
Wow.
very strange. You're at 55. Look at you.
Yeah, look at me.
Yes. Uh,
I was going down for a long time, so
we're about the
we shall
same,
see.
same, same quadrant. We're both
I saw
consistent
that.
and focused. That's cool. How about
Okay.
Empire? Have you been on Empire lately?
A little bit. Well, I wanted to say that on Clout, I am now influential on lattes. So.
Oh, that's funny. Our buddy Amanda Wernick, you've met her, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, she was,
Well, no, I haven't met her, but
but you know who she
online.
is. Yeah.
Yeah, I know she's.
It's funny because she was influential on Cougar. Being a Cougar, that was pretty funny. But I think she finally fixed that or something. And then it's just funny. I mean, sometimes like for you, I think it's pretty dead on. You have entrepreneurship, online presence, business, WordPress, social media, iPhone, Christianity, video, photography, latte, and smartphones. I think all of those really apply to what you talk about and stuff that you know. And for me, at least, it's also pretty much dead on the topic. Not only that I talk about, the topics that I'm interested about.
Yeah.
But I've seen some really strange topics on people's pages. So we have no idea how clout works. They won't tell us. That's their secret sauce. So
It's fun.
yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
As for Empire,
Oh, right.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm having a lot of fun on that. It's good.
Yeah.
But
I don't,
we'll talk about Empire another time.
okay.
That's a
Okay.
whole conversation of its own.
I keep buying people's stock or whatever. I don't even know. But it's fun too.
Yeah,
I've met some people on it, and
yeah. I've actually
in
got
that way, it's fun.
yes. I've met a lot of people, and I've got some good business out of it. So I really like it. We'll cover that another time.
Okay.
So let's go over. We talked a little bit about Edgerank, and we kind of talked a little bit about getting people on Twitter and people that follow you on Facebook, and all that really at some point translates to numbers, right? So you have 100 followers on Twitter, you have 200 people that like your fan page, and you have an Edgerank of 30 or 49 or whatever. But what does that mean for an outsider looking in? So when you go to a client and you say, look, I can do your social media, I'm a social media expert or professional or consultant. We were talking earlier about social proof, right?
Right. Exactly.
So I think that's what those numbers really translate to. Aside from any score from Cloud or Empire Avenue or Peer Index, there's something to say about those numbers. Now, those numbers can easily be inflated. I mean, we both know that you can be part of a group and everybody in the group can help each other out rise through those numbers to increase that. But at the end of the day, when you go to try to get a new client or try to get a new business, those numbers mean something. And I think that's what we talked about earlier, and we call it social proof, right?
Right.
So how do you interpret social proof?
Well, to me, I mean, there is a definition, and I'm not going to read it, but
Yes.
to me, social proof means that, if I see a page that has a whole lot more likes than just, a handful of them, that means that other people think that this site is worth looking into. And I'm more apt to, socially, I'm more apt to do or look into what my friends are looking into. And so I kind of look at the social proof of different sites when I click in, just to see where they're at. Or like restaurants, for instance, if I go to a restaurant site, I like to see that there's, more than 100 or so people who like the page, and hopefully into the thousands. That means that they've had a lot of people come through and like the business. And so that's what social proof means to me. And also, when I go to a website and I see a Facebook box, um, what'll pop up is the friends that I have on Facebook who've liked the page. And I definitely look at that. So that's just how I am socially.
Sure. So to you, it's a mix of the ability for that business to get people to like them, and but also how many of your friends, if any, are actually part of that fan base, right?
Right.
So if you have two pages, for example, that offer the same service and they both have 1,000 likes, they both have 1,000 followers, but one of them has three of your friends, you consider that page to have more social proof for you than the other one, right?
Exactly. Right.
And if you were to take the friends out of it, would you consider that a page with 1,000 likes versus a page with 50 likes has more social proof?
And that across the board, if you compare apples to apples, then it depends on the engagement on the page.
Okay.
So to be specific, I would take a look at that because I like to see a page that a bunch of people are on it, engaged on the site, and actually the page owner commenting back. That's what I like to see. That to
Okay.
me is a healthy page.
All right. Well, we found somewhat of an official definition on Wikipedia, and I'll read you really quick the first paragraph, and then you can visit it on your own. But it says social proof, also known as informational social influence, it's a psychological phenomenon where people assume the actions of others reflect correct behavior for a given situation. This effect is prominent in ambiguous social situations where people are unable to determine the appropriate mode of behavior and is driven by the assumption that surrounding people possess more knowledge about the situation. So it's really reflecting on what you said, because if you go to a restaurant, to their fan page, and you don't know anything about the restaurant, you're just looking for a new place to go try with your family. If you see that three or four of your friends have liked it, you're more likely to choose that restaurant over another one that you've never heard of, because you at least have some base to understand, to go from, where other people that you trust actually think that that's a good place to go eat.
Right. And the number of likes. So if they've been in business for at least 5 years, I would think that they would have, a substantial number of likes. Whatever that number is different for different people.
Sure, but
But
what if it's a business that, let's say, they've been around for 15 years, but they just decided to start Facebook 4 months ago.
well, they better hurry.
Okay, so let's go in a little bit on a tangent there.
Okay.
Let's say a restaurant's been established for 20 years. Maybe they're not a mom and pop shop anymore, but they're also not a Houston's. They don't have nationwide chain, but maybe they have 5 locations in their county or in a region like Southern California.
Okay.
What are like 2 or 3 tips that you would give them to increase that fan base quickly? If we talk about the likes and the subscriber list and all that, how do you get more people to your fan page, and how do you get those numbers up quickly?
Well, I think that in your restaurant you could do a number of different things because you have a captive audience when they're at your restaurant.
So
So
this you're talking about physically in the restaurant.
physically in the restaurant,
Okay.
right? So you can post a little card at the check-in counter, or depending on what kind of restaurant it is, you can have signs that say "Like us" on Facebook, and have give them,
It's
I don't
12
know, run
hours.
a special, or for those people who like their page, unless it's not in the terms of doesn't comply with the terms of service. But there's, you could hand out something when they go to pay their bill. Hey, like us on Facebook, something like that, and advertise your Facebook page a little bit more. Also on their website, they could have a box or, a particular call to action for Facebook.
Okay.
So that should get people on the page.
Now, what do you think about offering free coupons or something on the Facebook page. Do you think that's gimmicky, or do you think that's just another way of marketing your services?
Oh, I think that's a great idea.
Right.
Yeah,
Because
I think it's
I
awesome.
mean, we get those like value pack things in the mail with coupons all the
Right.
time, and I mean, that's probably the one mailing thing that I get that I actually look through because they're well done, they're attractive, and most of the time the coupons are good. So I think if businesses take some of that approach into their online presence, maybe it would be successful.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
all right, so these are some good tips on how to get more likes, and that's across any business, right? Not just a restaurant, but any business where you have a brick and mortar. You want to let people that walk into your store or into your storefront to know that you are available online. At the very least, say, come like us on Facebook, or maybe put in your receipt that you have a Facebook fan page, or make sure it's in your business cards, and certainly on your website. So um, I think that kind of wraps it up for Facebook, right? Do you have
Yeah.
anything else to add about what we talked about on Facebook today?
Mm,
Because we want to move on to, oh, I
right.
know you can't see it on your side, Allison, but I'm gonna kind of quickly go through these fan pages that we found. We wanted to
Oh,
show
right.
you guys maybe a half dozen fan pages really quick on pages that we thought are done well. And here we're looking at the Starburst fan page. There's nothing incredibly, you know, outstanding about it, but it's just well done. They have good, attractive images, and they're active. You see that the latest post was on Saturday. Um, Now that's already a couple days old, but it's still very active. And you see that there's 1,200 people liking this comment. There's a lot of comments, 140 comments. So they're doing something right. They're attracting engagement. People are talking to them. And on the left-hand side, you'll see that they have really strong branding about one of their products. And below that, you'll see the wall, information, and you see other tabs, like the Contradictions Project. I don't particularly know what that is, but this section on the left shows additional tabs that allow you to do special stuff on Facebook beyond the wall, info, and activities. So make sure you explore this if you have a Facebook fan page. And that was Starburst. Then we have Zappos. Zappos has been, one of the very much talked about businesses in social media because they really disrupted that industry of fashion and shoes. I mean, they started with shoes only, but they're very, very highly regarded as a great customer service company, and their fan page
You
reflects
have some
that.
great shoes.
Really, to be honest, I've never bought from them.
Well,
But I know a lot of people do, and they love the
yeah.
fact that you can return stuff all the time. I mean, you can return stuff without any questions if you don't like it, and it just seems like
Yeah.
their customer service is awesome. Their page is really, really cool. They encourage you to like it. This is what we call a reveal page, right, or reveal tab, when people
Mhm.
have to like a page to see more.
It's
Uh,
called a lot of different things.
yeah,
I
a
don't
lot of
know,
people call it
like
different,
Reveal, Fangate,
right?
whatever. Yeah.
I call it just a Facebook landing page, but whatever. So let's see what else we have here. Threadless. This is a clothing company. Um, I think the reason why that we picked this is because they have a large audience, almost 400,000 people, and very engaged. So this is a good example to go see how they're doing it and what kind of information they're providing to their customers. It's not always about just talking about your product, but it's really talking and engaging with people that are listening to you. Um, Coca-Cola, of course, it's kind of hard to find Coca-Cola doing something wrong. I mean, they've had the same logo for what 120 years now. Uh, they don't change it. Compare that to Pepsi. How many times has Pepsi changed their logo? I saw an infographic about that, and
Mm.
just from a marketing perspective, Coca-Cola stays their ground. They know what they know, and they move forward. And in this case, I think, wow, 36 million fans. I mean,
Yeah.
this is hard to use as a Facebook example because we don't know if this is just because they have a large fan base. People are going to like Coca-Cola no matter what. But,
I like Diet Coke, actually.
okay.
Just
I actually like Diet Coke too. How
Okay.
about Coke Zero? You like Coke Zero?
No, it's too sugary.
Okay,
Has a terrible aftertaste.
I see.
Yeah.
Um, and what they're doing right is engagement. So there's stuff here posted 55 minutes ago, an hour ago. So they're very active, and there's a lot of different activity things you can explore on the left-hand side again. So um, let's do a couple more. Burt's Bees. They make skin products like lip balm and all that stuff, and they're natural, and that's their approach. But look, they have almost 1 million followers. Well, they have 3/4 of 1 million followers. And notice their fan page, their landing tab or fan gate, however you want to call it. It's actually pretty cool, but it's geared towards the holidays. If you notice, it already has a little bit of a Christmas feel. They did a nice blend from the icon photo on the left to the landing page, and it all kind of fits together. And they're encouraging you to like the page, and they'll reveal more stuff once you do. So this is another interesting approach. Um, and that's about it for
The
the
Burt's
fan page.
Bees story is actually pretty interesting. Who
Really?
was telling me about that?
I don't know
Um,
much about it. So what is it?
oh, I think it's like some some guy was driving and met a gal on the side of the road or something. I mean, I don't know. I'd have to look it up, but it's pretty interesting. Just the story about that, and then they decided to. I don't know what it was, but it this crazy story comes to mind, and they started making all kinds of different products, not just lip balm.
Oh,
But
okay,
it's an
interesting.
awesome product. Yeah,
Yeah, I like him.
yeah.
All right, so that kind of wraps it up for Facebook. Um, if you guys have any questions, Twitter is @NotAGrouch. Allison Stripling will be happy to answer your questions or put them in the next show. So, with that, we are going to switch into a little bit of YouTube talk. So, and YouTube has been around for now what? I believe Google bought them in 2006. They're one of the great success stories from Silicon Valley. Three guys started YouTube, and they solved a problem that had been around for really like 10 years. They took video from all different formats and converted it into one viewable format for everybody to see. And that's really what fueled the video sharing explosion, where we've had video capturing devices forever, for decades. And in the 90s, we started seeing portable video recording. But the problem was that everybody had their own version of video uh, codecs and files. So if I wanted to share my video
Whatever that means.
yeah, well, if I wanted to share a video with you, for example, you had to have a player that would play it, or I had to convert it to a really widely popular format like AVI or MPEG. But even within those formats, there's different codecs, and sometimes you would get an error that would, you maybe remember that, where the video would say, "Oh, this video cannot be played. You need this other file or something." And there were times where you just couldn't play the file. So YouTube solved that problem, basically by saying, "Upload your video. We'll convert it to a video format that everybody in the world can watch."
Yeah,
And
quick and
so,
easy.
yeah, and so that video format was Flash, and now that
10-year-olds could do it.
yeah,
And they are.
I know they
8-year-olds.
are, and I read somewhere that the younger people, like kids and teenagers, are spending up, 4 to 6 hours a day on YouTube. So it's replaced video games, it's replaced TV for a lot of them, and
Which a lot of times educationally, it's really cool. I mean, you could,
sure,
you know, check out ways on creating your little Lego creations if you want. There's hours and hours of video.
sure.
And our families used it to to watch dance videos, how to do hip hop moves
Okay.
and such.
Oh,
So
you'll have to
it's
demo some
pretty
of that,
awesome.
what you've learned.
Okay, I'll have my 6-year-old demo that.
Yeah, that's good.
Yes.
Um, so it's been fun for ever since I found out about YouTube. I've liked watching videos in there. I subscribe to a lot of people, and now I have it on my TV. So I have this little device. Yeah, it's just a Blu-ray player. It wasn't anything fancy. It was like $50 at Best Buy, And it's a Blu-ray player by Sony that allows me to put in my YouTube username and password, and then I can watch my subscriptions on my big screen TV. And now we have Google TV, there's Apple TV, you have iPads, you have all these devices that let you watch YouTube videos. So it's really becoming a really cool place, and a lot of people are spending a lot of time in there. Like you said,
Like yourself.
well, yeah, I spend a lot of time in it, but I guess the point I'm trying to emphasize is that I'm spending a lot of time on YouTube away from my computer. You know, if I'm at a doctor's office just waiting 20 minutes or so, I'll fire up my YouTube on my Android phone and watch a couple of YouTube videos. And sometimes when I can't find anything interesting on Netflix, or I don't have anything that's recorded on my normal cable channels, I'll go to YouTube and see what's up there. Some people are generating, you know, 4 million views the moment they post a video. There's that guy, I forgot his name, Ninga or something. It's this Asian kid that started posting like lip sync songs, and he just became a YouTube sensation. And I think he's one of the top 10 YouTubers or something. But literally, the moment he posts a video, he'll have, I think, 100,000 views within a minute or two, and then within a day, he usually breaks 2 million views.
Well, so how do you get that? How do you
Well,
get so
he was
many
one of
views?
the early,
Oh, okay.
and then he got a lot of people liking him. And now, if you go to his page and look at his number of subscribers right now, that number will probably increase by 1,000 about every hour, every couple of hours. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
So, you know, of course, having a big number of subscribers helps with this, because they're just bound to look at your video. You know, the more subscribers you have, the better. But so that's all great for people that have found that success, right? I mean, they're making money with YouTube and stuff through YouTube, not just selling their own products, but actually YouTube has them in a partnership program where they make money. But how
Right.
does one small business use YouTube for their advantage? I mean, take away the birthday videos and the cute, you know, your kid dancing and stuff. That's all great to share with family and friends and kind of capture memories. But if you talk about YouTube as a business tool, how does a business use YouTube to promote their business?
Well, I know that, I've been working with a Pilates studio, and she's been wanting to highlight her teacher training program online. And it's a great way to do it because people could view her studio, view her ways of teaching and her techniques, and see how she actually does her teaching versus just reading something on our website that says I'm certified, I'm this, I'm that, I'm highly qualified. They can actually see her in action, which, like you said, if a picture is worth 1,000 words, what is a YouTube video worth?
Yeah, I said,
Uh,
yeah, if a picture's worth 1,000, a video must be worth 1,000,000, right?
right, right.
But
So it says a lot, and it says you know, checking out to see if somebody's actually real and how they teach. It's really great, and so she's able to show that to other people and gain her following that way.
sure. Um, yeah, I think definitely. I mean, YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. That means Google. You know, most people go to Google to search for stuff, but then the next tier down, it's not Yahoo and it's not Bing or Facebook or Twitter, but it's actually YouTube. So people go to YouTube to search for information just like they do on Google, and they're looking for a visual answer, not for, like you said, they don't want to read credentials, they don't want to read text, they actually want to see
Right,
a video.
right,
And for example, my wife uses it to find recipes. It's so much easier, I think, to look at how something is cooked rather than reading about it. You can have, you know, a dozen pictures on your book, but watching how, you know, a certain type of produce or protein, or, you know, certain type of meat behaves when you put it under high heat and stuff like that. It's very, very interesting, and then you can see it directly from somebody that's done it before. So it's just like watching TV, watching one of the cooking channels, and you see how people do it. But this is on demand and exactly what you're looking for. And not only cooking, but there's technology solutions. There's, you know, how do you do a Facebook fan page? There's videos that will show you step by step. Where do you click? What do you expect? how Facebook is going to react as you're going through the pages. So um, the example that you gave is really, really interesting because from a perspective of a business owner, you have a limited amount of time, right? And you can be the best business owner and you treat all your customers awesome. When they walk in through your door, you give them the time of day and you pay attention and you answer the questions. But you might have 10 people that walking through your door asking you the same question all the time.
Right.
And you eventually will run out of time and you still want to provide great service and information about your products. And I think YouTube is a great way of showcasing that. Earlier you mentioned about a machine, for example, a doctor having a special machine, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what do you need to tell us a little bit about that? Because I thought that was very interesting that
Right.
you brought it up because doctors
Well,
are very
well,
limited in time. But go ahead.
right. I was just going to say that, when I go to the doctor's office, a lot of times whatever, goes in one ear kind of goes out the other, either because I'm nervous about some sort of thing at the doctor's office or I'm thinking about something else. And normally I have to jot things down on paper when I do it. And so capturing an actual, medical professional on video is a great way to advertise your business because then you can replay it if you miss it. But also, I think that the way that a doctor talks, you could just tell their authenticity and their experience and their knowledge over video. And if you read something that they have to say, it's not as engaging as video. And so, with the client that I'm working with, they had the person who does the procedure with this laser machine, and actually the doctor then endorses it, and you get two different voices, two different viewpoints on this particular machine, and it's just great to have both because you have the doctor's input and the person who runs the business. So it's just nice, and you can replay them, and it's the benefits of the procedure, and questions on how how am I supposed to what are the steps before the procedure and what are the steps after the procedure, and it's very real. It's very real.
Okay. Yeah, I think that was really a great example because I know a lot of doctors are very almost geeky. They like their gadgets just like we do, except their gadgets are a lot more sophisticated and they actually help a lot of people. But it's very important that they explain to you how those tools work, and
Right.
they don't have the time, or they have they 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 might not be really good at explaining, or they don't want to write in a blog or something. So they'll do a quick video, post it up, and then you as a
Right.
consumer can be informed about that. So
So it's leveraging YouTube
yes.
for that. Yeah.
So that's a great example. I've seen other examples. I'm going to show our audience the Boone Oakley video, which I really, really
Right.
love. This guy's actually built an entire website portfolio onto YouTube. Um, and I know
really
Allison has a bit of a time constraint now, right? We have to get going soon. But I'll show you guys this after Allison leaves, and maybe we're just going to wrap it up and tell you a little bit about what we're going to talk about next. So I think we're going to revisit Facebook next time. We're maybe going to show you how to create a fan page, maybe some tips and tricks. I also want to talk about Empire Avenue and maybe Cloud. Allison, what would you like to talk about next?
Sure.
Sure. No, I think there's.
Empire Avenue is great
Say what?
because Empire Avenue is great because I don't really know how the stock market works anyway, but it's just been a great tool to reach out to different people
Sure.
and meet people.
Okay.
Yeah, with your similar interests.
All right. Yeah, we hope that you've liked this. I know it's just us talking, but we've covered a lot of information that keeps coming up. We try to answer some questions that people have sent us, either our clients or our friends, and also questions that have come up in our social media groups and circles. So we hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please let us know on Twitter or in the comments on the video. We're going to be trying to do this. We're going to try to do this regularly, maybe once a week. And if you have any topics you want us to cover, please send it to us. We'll have a website set up, maybe even a fan page where we can interact with you. But please let us know what you're interested about. We'd love to talk to you and answer your questions. Again, Allison is from Cornerstone Creative, and I'm from Oscar Steck. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, our blogs, and all that information will be posted on the video, information, description, and everywhere where you look, it should be there. So we'll let Allison go. She has to go
Okay.
to a meeting.
All right. Thanks, Oscar.
Thank you for coming on.
You're fun.
I'll talk to you next time.
Bye.
Okay, bye. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll show you really quick how this Boone Oakley did the video. It's really, really interesting. I'm just going to play it for you really quick and let it kind of show its own. I might actually stop it as I go, but here on the left, you see these are buttons. They're really just annotations built into the video that take you to other videos. So you can either watch the video, you can skip to these sections. These are like little chapters. If you think about a DVD, how you have chapters where you can skip to, this is kind of like that. A bit rudimentary because YouTube just doesn't allow that kind of interaction, but where you could just skip to a chapter, but you can certainly click on it and get to that point. This take you to different types of, for example, work by client, work by medium, news, but I'll just let it play and let you watch it. And for some reason there is no video, no sound. Anyway, for some reason the sound is not working. I hope I've been recording the sound, otherwise it's going to suck. But this is our website. If you click on news and videos, then you get taken to a video where you just see that. And notice that this is just a 1 minute and 10-second video. Doesn't change or anything, but it lets you go click on different sections. You can click on clients, you can click on, this will show you all their clients. There they are going across. Pause that. You can go back to home, and you're back to the video that started it off. Anyway, again, this is Boone Oakley. The video link will be on the notes. So I hope you enjoy the video. I hope you enjoy this podcast or videocast, however you want to call it. Look forward to seeing you next time. And if you have any questions, please send it over to Not a Grouch on Twitter or Allison Stripling on Twitter. And I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.